And that is my number one top tip. Hello, lovelies. Welcome to NARC Free Formula. My name's Fred and thank you for joining me. Today's episode is about the 2 top tips that I can give you to help you respond and not react to the narcissist. And anyone who's been with a narcissist knows that that is not an easy thing to learn to respond, not react. All right, lovelies, I've got some notes. So if I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing. Let's get into this. So, you know what it's like with a narcissist. So you've gone no contact. And as soon as you go no contact, they decide that they're going to have to up the ante to try and get you to talk to them. And there's also different techniques that they use, but essentially this is how it goes. The phone rings. It's the narcissist. You ignore it. It goes to voicemail. They either leave you a message or they don't. The next thing that happens is a couple more rounds of that. Then we start getting the text messages coming through. And depending on the nature of your narc, depending on the level of abuse or the angle they want to play, because this is the other thing, there's a few different angles, the way they play these things. You might get a message like, call me back when you finish sucking cock. I probably should put a language warning on this one. Yeah, I will. Or, something equally offensive. Something designed to make you react, to make you go, get on that phone and call up and say, what the hell? How dare you talk to me like that? Who do you think you're talking to? Which is exactly what they want. So the other thing that they might do is a different angle. They might do the, trying to play on your heartstrings. Try that angle. So the text message might say something like, I know that you hate me and that you don't ever want to speak to me again, but I just want you to know that I will always love you. You will always be number one in my heart. Once again, designed to plant a seed in your mind to make you go, oh, God, he really does love me. He really does love me. And I don't want to get back together with him, but I'm just going to tell him that I love him too, and that it's all good between us. And so you get on the phone and you say, I don't hate you. I don't hate you at all. I love you. Which is exactly what the narcissist wants. I mean, because, you just betrayed yourself, you broke no contact, and you just said something ridiculous to someone who has hurt you really, really badly. I mean, that is awesome fuel for the narcissist, right? So the other one that they often do is, if you're avoiding them, is, you'll get the messages that start saying things like, I'm so worried about you. You don't ever go this long without talking to me. If you don't answer me within the next 24 hours, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to drive across the country and come and see you firsthand. I've had this personal one. It's funny. Once again, designed purely to put you in a state of fear and go, oh God, I don't want him coming here. And especially not when I'm driving halfway across the country, when obviously I'm all right, there's nothing wrong. So I'll just get on the phone and I'll just tell him that I'm okay, don't need to worry about me, blah, blah, blah. This is all the ways that the narcissist makes you react, okay? You don't want to react to the narcissist. You want time and space to think. So the 2 top tips for avoiding all of this is, 1, if you're going no contact, but you still need to have communication on some level, so just say you've got children or whatever the reason that you still have a phone number that he has. Or maybe you're just someone who just doesn't want to change phone number, and that's fine too. You don't have to change phone number. So this is probably the key tip, if I'm honest. The number 1 tip would be when you make sure you block that number. make sure it goes into a folder on your phone where you do not read it. Because the beauty about these threats, for example, is it doesn't matter. Not just the threats, sorry, all three of those text messages. None of them matter when they were from 6 weeks ago or 2 days ago or even a week ago. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't have the sting. It takes that heat out of it. Because no matter how you feel, you might get angry, but then it's like, well, he sent it a week ago. Doesn't really matter. And you know that he doesn't think these things, that he does think these things anyhow, and that it doesn't matter what you do or say, it's not going to change the way he thinks. You also know that he's not going to cross country, unless there's something to be gained from it. Idle threats, essentially, idle threats. So, but when you're in there in the moment, you feel the fear and the adrenaline and because the thing is, the narcissist has trained you for however long you were together. You were trained when they said jump, you said how high. All right, jump, do it. How high? How high do you want me to jump? What can I do for you? What do you need? What do you want? How can I fulfill you? What, every single want, need, whim of theirs, you essentially met, gave, did. And that's the nature of these kind of parasitic relationships. There is always a host and there's a parasite. And your job as a good host is just to feed, give, fuel. That's all that you're there for, is to fuel the narcissist. So this tip of blocking the phone, the texts and the emails, any communication. So no answering the phone, no answering the phone ever. We don't answer the phone to the narcissist. They don't get the privilege of speaking to us, of hearing our voice, of taking our time. They don't have that, okay? So we don't ever answer the phone. And when it comes to text messages and emails and the like, have it go into a folder or a file where you don't see it. So you can choose to check there. Like I check mine maybe once a month, just to see what blah, blah, blah he's had to say. But the beauty of it is, like I said, it doesn't matter what blah, blah, blah he's had to say. And just quickly on that note, sometimes this has saved me. There's been a couple of times where it's actually saved me. And what I mean by that is he has hoovered with the intent of trying to pull me back into the relationship, not with the intent of abusing me and gaining fuel, but to try and pull me back in. But the beauty of it is, because a narcissist can't maintain any kind of emotional state for any period of time, what happened is, because I didn't respond to, for example, the love song that he sent, because I didn't respond to it in time, he got angry. So his next text started getting a little bit more angry. There was a tone, a shift, and I could tell. And so when I received them and read them all, I can see the progression of the hoover, him getting angry, and by the end of the text messages, I'm so grateful that I didn't read the first one, because the first one, it was a love song. It could have sucked me in. He used other people's words to say good things to me, and it could have sucked me in. But because, like I said, there was that period of time where I wasn't responding, and that annoyed him, so he started sending more texts, different texts. Now he gets abusive. So that is the key, is to put that kind of buffer. It's a buffer of time and space. And the other thing is to use these forums, groups, and YouTube channels. Reach out to people who know what it is that you are going through, and reprogram your mind. Because remember, every time you read every time you read an email from the narcissist or a text message from the narcissist, you get dragged into that kind of way of thinking. You start drinking the Kool-Aid. You don't mean to, but you've been trained by them for so long that their reality is real. So it's quite easy to accidentally get sucked into believing that again. So by talking to other people and just bouncing it off anyone else who's going through narcissistic abuse recovery, if you just ask anyone, hey, what do you reckon this is about? And if you talk to them before responding, most, like 99.9% of the time, you will get one person at least who gives you really sound advice, and you will realize that you don't even need to respond. I mean, just because the narcissist says, talk to me, I want you to talk to me, doesn't mean you have to talk to them. I mean, that's really what they're doing. They're just kind of having a little tantrum. It's like, you've gone no contact. They don't like losing control. They don't like you putting up boundaries. They don't like you gaining control of your life. So they stomp around like a little child having a temper tantrum. I want my toy. Give me back my toy. Stomp, 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 stomp. And they say fucked things and they do fucked things. And that is what narcissists are about. They're all about themselves. So they are my 2 top tips. Essentially, give yourself a buffer of time and space. Do not ever read a message when it comes through. As I said, they'll, phone your carrier, speak to your mobile phone company, figure out how you can do it, because all the companies are different and they've all got different technology. So figure out how it can be done, but it can be done. So if you need their messages to still come through to you, right, it's okay. They can sit there for a week. Just because someone rings your phone doesn't mean you have to answer it. Just because someone sends you a text message doesn't mean you have to answer it. Just because someone wants to talk to you doesn't mean you have to speak to them. You actually have rights. These are basic human rights. People can send you letters. You don't have to read them. There's no law that says you have to read everything that comes your way. There's no law that says you have to respond, speak to people unless you want to. And we know that with the narcissist, there's always, always, always an agenda. Okay? And it's usually about breaking your will, getting you back under control, and manipulating you again for their own means. And, who wants to do that? All right, lovelies. Thank you for watching. I hope that helps you to respond, but not react. Like I said, time, space, and talk to other people about it first. You don't need to talk to the narcissist. I mean, as I said, 99% of the time, there is no need for you to actually talk to them. They just are so used to getting what they want, they don't know how to respond and deal with someone actually saying no to them. But, they need to practice that skill because there's more of it coming. All right, lovelies, thank you for watching, and get NARC free, stay NARC free, and check the links also in the description box if anyone wants a one-on-one consult. And that's all I've got to say. Bye.